Welcome everyone. Prameya, Poonam, Lalit, Mangesh. We are reading Atma Bodha by Adi Shankara. We are going to review from verse 4. In verse 4, he says, all the appearing differences are due to not knowing who am I. We see rich, poor, beautiful, ugly, male, female, Christian, Muslim, wise, ignorant. These are all of the world. These are all of the body. I am not this body. If I think I am this body, that is ignorance. I am the witness of this world and the body. We have seen BMI chart. I am not this body, mind, and intellect. Body perceives everything else. Eyes, it's not just eyes. Eyes, nose, ears, throat, taste, smell, touch, everything. The five senses. That's all of the body. Mind feels emotion. I'm angry, I'm upset. All these things are of the mind. Intellect makes decisions. But you are none of this. You are the witness of all these three. Just like the sun reflects on multiple containers, pots, and you can see there are 7 different suns, when actually there's only one sun. So also Atman is only one, and it reflects on everybody. And that reflection we see, and then we see the differences. There is only one alone is, and that is referred as Sat. Sat is existence. So Chaitanya, Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. So Swayam Prakashaha. It is Swayam Prakasha. How do you say it is Swayam Prakasha? It is all, you say it is all pervasive, it is Swayam Prakasha, but I don't see it. I see many people, I see many things. Say, for example, you come to my room, come to my house for a few days. It is night, 11 o'clock, 11:30. Suddenly you are reading and the electricity goes off. No lights. Completely. You can't see where the desk is, where the chair, bed ends, sharp corners, dresser, what can poke you, what can hit you, you don't know. So I come and call and ask, Saiti, are you there? Everything okay? And you say, yes, I'm fine. How do you know? There is no light. There is no light. You can't see anything in that room or even through the window outside. Everything is pitch dark, but you know you exist. That is self-revealing. Animals don't know they exist. A dog does not know. You take a dog for a walk and cross the water body, it will see its reflection and it will start barking, thinking there is another dog. It doesn't know I exist. Only human beings know I exist. That is the difference between humans and animals. That is why it is self-revealing. You don't need another light to reveal you. Sun is ever present. We say sun rises and sets. Sun doesn't rise and set. Sun is ever present. The earth rotates. So when the earth rotates, it appears sun. It is sun here. It is day here in America when it is night in India. So sun is ever present. So also Atman is ever present. The cloud covers the sun, but sun is ever present. The ignorance, the dirt in our mind causes this blockage. Self-knowledge alone can erase the ignorance. Mirror is dirty. If the mirror is dirty, you can't see the reflection. Mirror needs to be clean. So also our mind. Observer, witness alone is. One appears as many. What is in this body is the same in every being. Approximately in different verses they say there's only one. Manisha Panchakam also says from Brahma to Pipilikanta, Brahma to ant. I mean, every being. That Atma alone is absolute Nirguna Brahma. The state of being is Kaivalya. Verse 5, every jiva is contaminated, polluted with I and mine, Ahamkaram and Mamakaram. I and mine. To be honest, there is nothing in this world that belongs to us. We come naked, we go naked. Even this name, Vijaya, won't be there when the body is shed. It will be called as body. They'll say, let's take the body. They won't say, let's take Vijaya. Everything is gone. So nothing is permanent. Ignorance of not knowing who I am. That is ignorance. How can such a jiva experience self-knowledge, attain self-knowledge? Practice the acquired knowledge repeatedly again and again. By constant, consistent, regular practice, that this jiva becomes pure without impurities. What knowledge? Ekatva knowledge. One alone is. Only one presence in this individual that is in this individual is the same in every being, every individual. Now the question is, the Purva Paksha is asking, the seer, the seen, and there is an interaction between both. That means there is triputi, there are three. How can you say there is only one? So that goes to the next verse. So Nirguna Brahman plus body, mind, and intellect is Jiva. Nirguna Brahman minus this body, mind, and intellect is Atman. That Atman and Brahman and Atman are one and the same at the microcosmic level and at the macrocosmic level. Aham Brahmasmi. Keep on meditating. I am that. I am that. Also, eventually, that thought also dissolves. We saw that pole vault. In the transaction life, there are several differences. We saw Vijatiya, Sajatiya, Swagata Bedam. That is between humans and animals, within humans, and in one human body. Every organ in the body has got a definite purpose to do, a functionality. So also every being in this universe. Take a bomb in the earth, it goes down and loosens the soil so that the roots can go down. It is helping the roots to do without expecting any results. We humans, we always expect. That is why we get often disappointed. Do your duty without expecting it. That is comes in Bhagavad Gita also. So there are absolutely no differences. Brahman is formless, arupa, witness of this body, mind, intellect, and the world. Aritra, you can mute it. You can mute it so that way the train sound is
sorry.
That's okay. So Akantaka Jnanam, that is Aham, Atman is the same as Brahman. This Atman is in every being. One alone is, one appears as many. So that thought, finally that thought also dissolves. Mind also finally dissolves. Until then you need it, like pole vault. So this knowledge, self-knowledge is compared to lamp, flame, light, sun. That's why we pray, every religion they pray with any lamp, candle, light, sun. So that is a significance of light. Now, verse 6, samsara. Samsara is the endless cycle of birth and death. Sanatana Dharma says life is not linear. It is not 1 to 100 years, 150 years. It is cyclical. Just like seed and tree, chicken or egg, seasons. rotations, revolutions. You see, everything in around us is all in cyclical form. So also our body is, any body that, once a body is taken, subject to death. Once a death is there, then the subject to rebirth. The three states of existence, waking, dream, and deep sleep state, are nothing but a long dream. Shruti refers to it as Traiswapnaha. One, we experience life. Snake is an experience. When we see a snake on a rope, snake is an experience. It gives fear, emotion. It triggers the emotion. Rope is also an experience in their own plane of existence. Avastatraya. That is in Sanskrit, it's called Avastatraya Viveka. Dream at night is based on the experiences that we had during the waking state or from the previous birth. Otherwise, nothing cannot come without anything. There must be a cause for the effect. Similarly, all three states of experience is all because of the likes and dislikes, the attachments, the attractions, I and mine, all exist. All this exists from the past, and they all appear in our dream. So just like we see the dream and we wake up and we say, oh, that was only a dream, it's not real, right? Now we need to wake up from this dream. This is a long dream, that all the experience that we experience, just like the snake, you have to wake up and say, I am the witness, I alone is. That is self-realization. That is verse 6. Verse 7, just like not knowing the seashell in a beach, it appears to be a silver. So also not knowing the Nirguna Brahman, which appears as the world, and we fall for the world. All the glamour around us. And that is taken as real. One alone is. When the world is seen, there must be a cause. There cannot be an effect without a cause. Nothing can come out of emptiness. That is the difference between Sanatana Dharma and Buddhism. Buddhism says emptiness. There's nothing there. Shankara had a samvada, discussion. How can you say there is empty? There's nothing there. Who says that? The person who says is there. Shankara said. The seer is there. For a snake to appear, rope has to be there. Without a rope, there is no snake. So without Nirguna Brahman, there is no world. The world is subject to change. Just like I walk in the sun, I see the shadow. The shadow is subject to change. I'm not the shadow. It is a shadow, it's not a second one. Therefore, the world is not a creation. The shadow is not a creation. It is an appearance. So also the entire universe. You, the seer alone, is. The world appears to be, and it keeps on changing. And all movements, activities, changes are because of that one immovable stationary substrata. The movement of the train or the plane, you will know only when you look outside. The stationary trees, the stationary station, they are all moving. With reference to something stationary, the train appears to be moving. With reference to that substratum, the world appears to be moving, changing. Just like without rope, there is no snake. Without this substratum, even the delusion of the universe is not possible. To have a counterfeit currency, you have to have the original actual currency to exist. There is a duplicate is not possible if there is no original. Right? There must be an original for the duplicate. That is verse 7. Verse 8 and 9. Just like the bubbles and foam, they rise in water. They sustain in water and they dissolve in water. So also the entire universe, not just plants, mountains, rivers, humans, all beings, the entire galaxy. Where scientists are trying to find out, and then the periphery keeps expanding. They find new planets. But there is no end to it. Everything is sustained in that one presence. In Sanskrit, Sarga Sthiti Layam. Generation, operation, dissolution. That is the acronym for God. Generator, operator, dissolver. Brahma, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. They're all functionalities. They're functions. They are not God. They are deities. Even though we have so many different gods in India that we think they're all deities. The one God supreme is the Nirguna Brahman. That one appears as many. It's like in a company, you have a president or a company name, any ABC company. You have a CEO, CFO, COO. Each one performs their action. Everybody says, I am the ABC company. What is a company? It is just a model. But the group of people work. Same thing with all these deities work together. If you want Dhanam, you go to Lakshmi. If you want education, you go to Saraswati. That Nirguna Brahman appears as many to satisfy human jiva's requirements. When we wake up in the morning, the first thought is I am awake. That I is the ego. That ego raises in the self. If the self, that inner presence is not in this body, this eyelid won't wake up. I won't appear. I appears, generated throughout the day. I did this, I did that, I'm here, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I'm happy. Sustains in that I. At night when you are in deep sleep, that this ego I dissolves. When you are in deep sleep, you don't know I. You don't know who I am, where I am, who I am. That I is the most useful word. And we do not know who that I is. That is ignorance. Now, in verse 8, he says, for any creation, you need two things, the material cause and the instrumental cause. Material cause is upadana karana, instrumental cause is nimitta karana. Say if you want to make a clay pot, you want clay and you want the clay pot maker. Here verse 8 focuses only on the clay, the material cause. And chapter 15 elaborates this fully, completely, what it is. Purushottama Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, the material cause for this entire universe is that one presence. Just like clay is the cause of all the parts, different parts, this material cause for this entire universe is only that Nirguna Brahman. Verse 9 emphasizes again that one presence is in all movable, immovables, plants, animals, humans, everywhere. It is existence, consciousness, bliss. Just like the ocean and waves, clay and parts, gold and ornaments, iron and tools, one appears as many. That's verse number 9. Verse 10, the space inside various parts are limited. If you have a small part, you have got this much of air in it. If you have bigger parts, you have got bigger air space, depending on the height, weight, and the dimensions. Same thing in our rooms, bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, whatever you take, everywhere there is space. But when you break down, all the walls are knocked down, it's a bigger space. When you knock down the neighboring buildings, it's only one space. So also, Atman is in every body. When the body breaks, Atman is only one. It is all pervasive. It seems to be limited. It is in all upadhis. They call it upadhi in Sanskrit, bodies. The one supreme consciousness, which is all pervasive, cannot be contained. It cannot be conditioned by any equipment. It is unconditional presence. That's why when we infant, child, toddler, or adolescent, senior, adult and senior, everywhere it permeates through all. That's why we know when we see a picture 30, 40 years ago, oh, that was me when I was 3 years old. That was me when I was 10 years old. I was 15 years old. It permeates throughout the life, throughout the body. That one alone is, and it remains same without any change. Body changes. Body has got changes, but that once remains ever, everywhere. And verse 10, popular example from that 10 people are touching the elephants. One touches the leg and says it's the pillar. One touches the tail and says it's the rope. One touches the ear and says it's the fan. Another touches the stomach and says this is the ceiling. And the fifth one touches the trunk and says this is a snake. So also we have our own perspective. We see different things and not knowing. Only that's a narrow vision, our perspective, individual perspective. One situation happens, one person sees it one way, another person sees it in another way. Because we have that narrow vision. Only when the Mahot says, combines all these experiences and says, this is the elephant, so also Shankara brings us all together and shows us that Aham Brahmasmi, you are that. So that is verse number 10. One appears as many. Verse 11. Today's session is going to be very important. Verses 12, 13, and 14 is the gist of Vedanta. So single-pointed attention is very required. Listen attentively. Whatever you know about Vedanta, keep it aside. Then you listen to this and then compare notes. And then you will have questions you can ask. So because preconceived notions, my teacher used to say, the board is already written and I'm trying to write something. The previous teacher has written all chemistry and I'm coming and teaching physics. It's already full. We have to learn, erase it completely to start again, new subject. We have to unlearn what we already have to relearn something new. And then you compare. So then you will be able to understand it better. Otherwise, it will only be in the form of a shabdam, sound, noise from me. The content won't go in. So that is important, especially in Vedanta. Verse 11, he says, Nana upadivasadi jati varna ashramadayaha atmani aropitaha rasavarnadi bedavat. He talks about, it brings the example. We have so many drinks. Ultimately, everything is only water. We call it, we add some fruits, some sugar and other ingredients, and we call it orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice, lime, Coke, Pepsi, coffee, tea. Different things are added. It's all only basically water. Similarly, this Nirguna Brahman alone is. And to that, all other things are added due to ignorance. What are the things are added? Number 2, line 2, Jati Varna Ashrama Dayaha, that is Jati. He is a Christian, he is a Muslim, he is a Brahmin, he is a Sudra. This person is tall, that one is rich, poor, tall, short. All these things are added to that one Brahman. Jati, all are imaginary bodies. Name, different name. This one is Vijaya, that one is Mike, that one is Raghavan, that one is Lalit, this one is Poonam. All names are added. There's only one. Jati, Nama, Ashrama. This one is single, that one is married, this one is senior, that one is retired. Again, all these things are added. Brahmachari, Grahasthan, Vanaprasthan, Sannyasi. Or Atmani Aropitaha. On that one Atman, all are superimposed. I am Vijay, but Other things are superimposed, like I'm a daughter to somebody, I'm a life partner to somebody, I'm a mother to somebody, I'm an employee somewhere. All these things are added, but the person is only one. Different roles, that's all. Same thing. The Nirguna Brahman is only one. For transactional reality, we have classified and catalogued ourselves for functionality, practicality. But if you look at it, Atman is only one. Vishnu, only one is referred also as Vishnuhu. Vishnuhu means Vyapaka Shilaha, all pervasive. That if it is all pervasive, it has no shape, size, color, height, weight, nothing. That is why it is referred as Nirguna, without any attribute. If a thing exists everywhere, it cannot have any form, dimensions. It is not limited to anything. It's like space. Space is everywhere, under the table, under the chair, anywhere and everywhere. So it has no shape, size, color. So Sanskrit terminology for Nirguna Brahman is Sarvagatam, all pervading. Because of not knowing this, we see limited beings and all differences, resulting in anger, fear, hatred, love, everything. Only when you see the second one, you are afraid. You are angry. When you see only one, nothing, none of this matters. That one is Purnaha, complete, full, without any parts. No Vijatiya, Sajatiya, Swagata, Bedam, differences. Absolutely no differences. All that we hear, taste, smell, touch, everything is that one Brahman. That alone is. It is a substratum, foundation of all existence. Anything that exists is existence. With a small e, anything that exists with a small e is that existence with a capital E. That alone is. The universe keeps expanding, but one alone is. That one is the cohesive, penetrating, permeating through every being, just like we saw the thread in the necklace. Say this cloth, we have this cloth, we all have shirt. What is ultimately the thread? You pull the thread, once the thread is taken, the cloth, there's no more cloth, no more shirt. What is only the thread. Without the thread, there is no cloth. This is a cause and effect theory. Karana Karya Vichara, they say. So now that is number 11. Number 12. It says every being is made up of 3 bodies. What we see is this body. There are 3 bodies: Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Stula Sharira is gross body, GROSS. It's like gross income, gross domestic product. Not gross. Gross is different connotation. That is gross, that is dirty, that is stinky. Gross. So gross is visible, tangible, with dimensions. Physical body is gross with shape, height, weight, everything. It is visible. Next one is Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. Human is not just a physical body alone. Beyond this physical body, there is mind. The pleasure and pain is experienced by the mind. It is also referred as Linga Sharira, invisible. That is Sukshma Sharira. Then Karana Sharira, causal body. That is the cause of the first 2 bodies. So the question is, if everything is divine and there is only one, limitless, all pervasive, then why are we talking about these 3 bodies? Only when we know what needs to be eliminated, negated, rejected, what you don't need, you can eliminate it and go to that. That is the process of neti, na iti, not this, not this. Like when you make a tea or coffee, you need to know what to eliminate. You have to take out the leaves after the tea is made to drink the tea. So also you have to eliminate things to get to the core. Brahman cannot, because Brahman cannot be defined. It is indescribable. You cannot pinpoint. If I say this is Brahman, what about that? If I say Brahman is in Rishikesh, what about in Germany, in Australia, in America? Because that Brahman is everywhere, beyond space and time. It is limitless. And only by negating it, you can say, you can point out. Only by negating.
May I interrupt, ma'am?
Yes.
I really don't know when to ask the question, but one only my doubt is that I just want to understand more about the causal body, Karan Sharira, because I really can't make out what it is.
Okay.
I can understand gross. Yeah.
It is coming. It is coming.
How to figure it out?
Sure, it is coming. We can discuss it at the end after the session. So it is that one is limitless, and only way is negating all other things that it is not. If I say this, you will ask, how about that? If I say here, how about there? You know, these questions will come. Because I remember when I was in California for 25 years and I learned Spanish because there were a lot of Spanish population to work. And when they taught Spanish, they taught me all the bad words for the first class, 15 bad words. Only when you know those bad words, you will not use it, or you will know when others use on you. If you don't know, you don't know. Same thing. What is not first needs to be known. These are points, what not to do, what, right? So another example is, say, I come to your house. If I want to visit you, then you say, okay, you come on this street, take this bus, get down here in this stop, and you see a Starbucks, you cross it, but do not pass that signal. Do not cross over that bridge. If you see a purple building, you have gone too far. Do not go to that purple building. Do not. You are giving not this, not this, not this. Same thing, same philosophy here. Scriptures use the same methodology. What is not? Even the words Satyam, Jnanam, Ananta, existence, consciousness, bliss. They are just pointers from Upanishads. They are not definition of Brahman. Brahman cannot be defined. They are just pointers. We should be able to say, is this body Atman? No. Why? Because this body has date of birth and date of expiry. Brahman is Nityam, ever present, indestructible. Therefore, this body is not Atman. If so, what is this body made up of? What is inside? That goes to verse number 12. Panchikrita Mahabhuta Sambhavan Karma Sanchitan Sariram Sukadukkanam Bhogayatanam Uchate. See, we all know the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. We call booth in India. Booth means we immediately try to scare the children, you know, when they are young. That booth aayega, aapko pakad ke leke jayega. Booth is an element. Because the parents don't know, they try to share what they know. That's why it's important to know all this. That way we can share when our children question us, we can answer responsibly. So the 5 elements, what we see, experience in the universe, everything is a mixture of 5 elements. Each element is a mixture of 2 or more elements. Water has space and air in it, but water is predominant. Earth has fire, water, and space. Earth is predominant. Everything is a mixture like an alloy, a combination of 5 elements at varied proportions. Without such a mixture, nothing can be made. If you want to make it a gold bracelet, they will always use 22 karat gold and 2 karat silver. You cannot make anything out of pure gold because that metal is malleable and ductile. It can be drawn into a wire or it can be flattened. So if I have a bracelet and I touch the door accidentally, it will become flat. It will become flat. That's why they don't make it. There's nothing in this universe that is with one metal or one element. Everything is mixture. So let's think about what happens at the time of death. In Sanskrit, the body is referred as shariram. Shariram is that which is subject to destruction. Deham is that which is subject to dahanam. Dahanam means to be burnt. Soon after the life departs in a body, the heat content passes out and body becomes icy cold. Air is emitted, body is bloated. Water is discharged, it becomes juicy. Physical structure, bones decays to the earth. The space occupied by the body also merges with the cosmic space. All the 5 elements merges with the cosmic elements. Atman is beyond the 5 senses. That is why in India, when somebody dies, they do the rituals within 5-6 hours. All these things happen. But now, of course, scientifically, they have got mortuaries. You can store it for 2 days. Atman is beyond these 5 elements. When the body goes, Atman does not go. Before the combination of these 5 elements, and in their independent state, like ore, in rudimentary element, they are called tanmatras, all the 5 elements. That alone is. This body is made up of 5 elements. If this body is made up of elements, everything around is also made up of 5 elements. Why do we have the identification with this body and not with anything else? Because in this body there is Atman. That's the only difference. That is inner presence. They don't know I exist. None of the things that we see, touch, feel, none of them know I exist. We cannot, a plant doesn't know I exist. A mountain doesn't know I exist. Fire doesn't know I exist. Only human beings know I exist. Line 2, he says, Karma sanchitam shariram. This body is the result of consequences of actions. Kathopanishad says, Yata karma yata shrutam yoni manye prapantyade. That means this body is the consequences of our actions. What type of body we will get in the next birth is based on our actions, and our actions here refers to thought, word, and deed. Every thought we have has a consequence. Every word we utter has a consequence. Every action we do has a consequence. It can be a human body, animal body, insects, birds, plants. It can be anything. That is why Bhajagovindam Shankara says, this is a grand opportunity you have got as a human being. Realize itself. Don't postpone it, because you don't know what birth you will have next. You don't know when the human birth will be there for you. You have this opportunity, learn this, know this. Aham Brahmasmi. It is a cycle of birth and death. We don't know what our next life will bring. When will we have the human birth? So now, with this human body, what do? We enjoy the pleasure and pain. We experience the pleasure and pain. I wouldn't say enjoy. This is the location of experience for the Atman. Say, I'm too hot. When I'm too hot, what do? I go to an AC room. that I am different from that AC room. Similarly, this body is the space for experience. Sukha dukkana bhogayatanam. That means this body is a place, a tent, a hall, a location to experience. Just like I'm different from that AC room, I am different from this body. This body is a place of experience. This is a fact for all three bodies. The ignorance has caused three bodies, upadi trayam. And this body is based on the in Taittiriya Upanishad, they call it from the Atman comes the space, from the space comes the air, from air comes fire, from fire water, from water earth. And these are tanmatras, these are original or rudimentary elements from Atman. Okay, and then they go through different stages of Panchikarna. And Panchikarnam, I'm going to share that screen for you so you can understand better. Hope all of you can see the screen. This we have seen last week. Panchikarnam is this. Originally, all the 5 elements are there. Tanmatras in their original pure state. Then there is a tendency to split each one into 2 equal halves. It's like a perforation. Then each element splits into 2. When it's into 2 equal halves. The next 4th stage, this space, half a space remains as is. So all half of their elements stay as is, and the bottom one divides into 1/8. Finally, the space, half a space stays as is, and it takes 1/8 of this air, 1/8 of fire, 1/8 of water, 1/8 of earth. Then it completes. Now this one takes 1/8 of this, holding half air, 1/8 of space, 1/8 of fire, 1/8 of water, 1/8 of earth. Same thing with fire. Fire takes space and air, and water and earth. Water takes first 3, space, air, and fire, and earth. Earth takes first 4, space, air, fire, water. So they all have half of this, their original. That is why some people are fat. Some people cannot have a lot of water. Some people's body is always hot. So each body is different based on this. That is called Panchikarna. Panchi is 5 steps. Taittiriya Upanishad calls it Panchikarnam, and Brihadaranya Upanishad calls it Trivit Karna. But Shankara says both are same. Both are same. Trivit, not Brihadaranya, Chandogya Upanishad. So one is like going in Rajdhani Express, only 3 stations. Another one is a passenger train with 25 stations. That's all the difference. So Trivit Karnam, Panchikarnam, both are same. So this is Panchikarnam. This is how body is formed, plus karma palan. So this body is the physical location. Whatever we experience in this body, pain or pleasure, it is because of this physical body is Sthula Sharira is formed, plus our consequences of our actions. So that is Sthula Sharira, verse number 12. So this body is a bhogasthanam, location to experience pain and pleasure for Atma. Atma is different from this location. Atma is not this body. Atma is a sakshi, witness of this body. I am Atma, aham brahmasmi, I am witness. Therefore, final conclusion is this body is not Atma, not iti, neti. Thus, the Sthula Sharira, gross body, is negated. Now we go to Sukshma Sharira, which is verse number 13. It is going to be a little slow today, but we'll do that. Verse 13. We may take another 10 minutes extra. Pancha prana mano buddhi dashendriya samanvitan apanchikrita bodhatvam sukshmangam bodha sadhanam. Beyond the gross body, stula body, there is sukshma sharira, subtle body, not visible to eyes. That is made up of 17 parts. Pancha prana. Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. See, a balloon, if there is one hole, the balloon bursts. But the body has got 9 holes. How does the body functions with so many air going up and down? That is the beauty. This is the air movement, pancha prana. Prana is controls and regulates the sense organs. Inhalation is prana. Exhalation is apana. It is also physical, mental, emotional release, apana. Then samana is digestion, making the food ready to absorb. Udana is the ascending of air, like burp. You get the burp. That is udana. It is also important, udana, at the time of shedding the body. Udana, some people you can see they are not able to die for months together. That udana is not effective yet. It is weak. Then vyana is circulation, distribution of nutrition to all organs. So this is pancha prana. This 5. Next one is dashendriya. That is 5 organs of perceptions and 5 organs of actions. 5, that is jnanendriya and karmendriya. Jnanendriya, as we call it, the 5 senses that we project outside and learn about things. Sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Hearing, touching, seeing, tasting, and smelling. That is 5 jnanendriya. That is how you get the knowledge about other things. So pancha prana, pancha jnanendriya. Next is 5 organs of actions, karmendriya. In jnanendriya, tongue is there for tasting. In karmendriya, the tongue is there for speaking. So tongue takes both organs. So tongue, hands, legs, excretory organs, and reproductive organs. These are 5 karmendriyas. So pancha prana, pancha jnanendriya, pancha karmendriya, 15, mind and intellect, 17 parts. Atma, but Atma is one whole, without parts, nishkalam. Therefore, this sukshma sharira, 17 parts, is not Atma. This subtle body is not Atma, not this, na iti, neti, not this. When there are 17 parts, obviously something is holding them, a gum, glue, screw, or something. When that falls apart, everything will fall apart. This sukshma sharira is temporary, ephemeral, impermanent. That's what our mind is. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are frustrated, sometimes we are angry. It keeps changing. Mind is a tool. Those changes keep happening in the mind. Mind is important. Without mind, of course, just physical body alone cannot experience anything. Because when I see this, my eyes are only showing this. The eyes does not tell me it is a pen. My mind interprets what I see. Mind is what interprets everything that we see, hear, taste, smell, everything. The eyes do not say anything. Eyes see it, ears listen. Ears cannot identify noise and sound. Only the mind. So these changes that happen, they are all of the mind and they are vikaram, alterations, modifications. But Atma is nirvikaram, unchangeable, nityam, imperishable, indestructible. Therefore, this sthula body, is a subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, is not Atma. Atma is distinctly different from this. Let's go to the same example of AC room. You go to the AC room when you are hot and you are different from the room. Now there is an AC equipment. You are different from that too. The AC is an instrument. AC equipment is an instrument. That is the subtle body. You are not the room. You are not the equipment. The experiencer is different from the place of experience. The experience is different. Experiencer is different from the instrument of experience. It is called Bhoga Sadhanam. It is all the instruments. First one is Bhogasthanam. This is Bhoga Sadhanam. That is number 13. We will finish 14 and then we will stop. It may take another 10 minutes. So verse 14. Anadi avidya anirvachya karanopadir uchyate upaditrayat anyam atmanam avadarayet. This is causal body, the cause of both gross and subtle body, ignorance. Avidya is the causal body, not casual body. The spelling, sometimes people can make mistakes. Where did this body come from? This body came from the previous birth karma. Based on the karma that is done, this body has come. Where did that body come from? It came from the previous birth. Where did that body came from? It came from previous birth. This will keep on going without knowing which one is the first. Just like the tree or seed, chicken or egg, endless. They call it in Sanskrit, anavastha dosha. You can never find the answer for this question. So Shankara says, don't even bother looking for it. Ignorance is ever there. Ignorance is anadi, without a beginning. The very fact that the world appears visible is experience, reflects that we are in ignorance. Ignorance of that one presence, which alone is. Universe is an expression, manifestation, not a creation. Rope alone is. If the snake is seen, the seer is ignorant of rope. That is why he's seeing the snake. If the snake is visible, ignorant. If the rope is visible, that person realized the rope. So also, the entire world is an expression, manifestation of that one Brahman. Brahman alone is. What is ignorance? Is it really there? How do we know it exists? What is the definition of ignorance? We all know fire is hot. That is its personality. Sugar is sweet. It's also referred as dharma, personality. That is the dharma of sugar. Salt is salty. Now, what is ignorance? Only then we can remove it. Only when I know what is ignorance, I can remove it. To define something, one must know about it. Say, I say a table, you immediately, we know that it is a table with a flat surface with 4 legs. What is a pen? You know it is something to write. If these descriptions fit, we can define the objects. But if I say, just say abracadabra, what is it? Is it an edible? Is it an object, something to eat, a drink, or furniture, tool? What is it? If I say aerodynamic, you know it is a plane that pierces through the air. Aerodynamic trains and planes. So how do we define ignorance? Shankara says, why do we, he's giving some example. Why do I get angry, afraid? Why? Because I see the second. Because we see more than one. Pain is for the body and the mind interprets it. You are not this body. My car is punctured. My computer is dysfunctional, but I am not affected. Similar, the world is an appearance. Brahman alone is. It is not unreal. Unreal means it doesn't exist at all. A man with a horn doesn't exist at all. That is unreal. Real is ever existent, Sat. Unreal never existed. But the real appearance, appearance is the world. How do we remove that avidya, ignorance, ajnana, that which causes this body? Unless that is removed, there is no liberation, there is no moksha. So scriptures say that we cannot define it. We cannot define ignorance, because once ignorance is defined, it becomes vidya. Avidya becomes vidya once you know it. So you can never define avidya. This ignorance is the basis for Advaita Vedanta. We can neither say it exists, nor it say it doesn't exist. The snake is not asat. We cannot say it is unreal. Never exists. It never exists. It is not unreal. It appears to exist. That is why it is giving us that fear. Unreal means it never exists, right? Snake is an appearance, but that appearance creates that emotion, fear. It is neither Sat nor Asat. Because it is neither Sat nor Asat, Sat is ever existent, Asat is never existed, but appears. It is referred as anirvachaniyam. You can never identify that ignorance. That which appears to exist gives experiences, but it neither exists nor not exists. So he says, try not to know about it. Don't even bother knowing about it. You'll never know. Because once you know, it becomes knowledge. In logic, in the law of logic, it is called logical inconsistency, internal contradiction. That is law of excluded middle in scientific terms. Logic means it's either true or it is false. Something is or something is not. There is no in between. I am asleep or I am awake. There is no in between. For every proposition in logic, either this proposition is true or its negation is true. Acharya describes here this Atman, this presence, is beyond these three bodies. So don't even bother about knowing the Karana Sharira. It is the cause, it is ever existence, it's anadi. You cannot know it. If you know it, it becomes vidya. So that Atman is beyond these three bodies. At the individual level, Atman is referred as, it is referred as Atman, and we call it Vyashti Drishti, individual. At the cosmic level, collective level, Brahman is referred as Samashti Drishti. Cosmic body is the universe, gross body plus cosmic mind. So this cosmic body is our gross world and gross cosmic mind, they both are ignorance, inert. At the macrocosmic level, Atman is the witness, Sakshi of these three bodies, not associated with anything, asangaha, akarta, abhokta, not a doer, not an enjoyer. When the gross body leaves, Atma does not go. When the subtle body leaves, Atma does not go. When the causal body leaves or it gets destroyed, it does not go. It becomes vidya. Atman is ever present, Sat, existence. Now with that, we conclude verse number 14. So 12, 13 and 14, this is critical. So I thought this is important. Then everything else is emphasizing on this same thing. Let me finish it and then we can spend 5 minutes. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.